Welcome everybody to Goats at the Brewery, our newest panel discussion show brought to you by our official beverage partner, Goat Very Enjoyable Beer. As always, I'm joined by AFLW star Darcy Vesio. Darcy and myself will be here every week discussing hot topics from the previous rounds, along with other superstars from the team. So today we're joined by head coach Simon Mitchell.
Thanks, Tommy.
And superstar himself, Mitch Creek. Round one. You know, what were you guys' takeaways from the first ever game?
Well, it was great. I mean, you have a long pre-season and what you really want to do is get out there and test your wares. And it was obviously a very exciting evening for everybody involved in the club, the players, coaching, but just as much the staff. Things went our way and we were able to come away with a victory in front of a very large crowd. And what was really positive, I guess, from our aspect, not just the way we played, but was the support we had on the night.
Simon touched on it. The fans were kind of on their edge and they didn't know who to go for. It was like, do you go for the new underdogs, the brand new franchise in South East Melbourne, or do you go for Melbourne United? And I think we really finished that game in such a fashion that it left people wondering, who do we go for?
What about you, Darcy? I mean, obviously you're coming from another sport. You're relatively new to basketball coming in. How have you found the first couple of rounds?
It's been unreal. I sort of came in. I got some good seats as well, so I didn't know.
You do all right there on the
baseline.
Yeah,
I know. When I got tickets, I didn't know where I was sitting, and then they were like, "Your tickets are right there," and they were a metre from the baseline. So being able to watch it up close and see the work you do, Mitch, and just the way the ball moves around so quickly, it's been really exciting. I was going to ask, heading into that first game, obviously as a new franchise, what sort of messaging were you giving the players heading in?
One of the things we did when we put this team together is we made sure we got a pretty nice balance of veteran as well as youth players. So it wasn't just the messaging coming from the coaching staff. The veteran core of the group really took the lead from day one in pre-season about the messaging of what we want to be, how we want to present ourselves. So for us, it's always been about process and presenting ourselves in a way. And I thought that we present ourselves in a pretty good light on the first night.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mitch, do you feel like, as one of the, the marquee players of the team, do you feel like you're a real driving force within that culture and sort of setting the standard of what you want the fans to feel when they watch you guys play?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that I never really understood until I started to come off the bench as a six-man in Adelaide, probably about 4 or 5 years into my professional career with them. And then it was just little things that I was taught along the way about how I can affect the game, just from more of an emotional standpoint. Now it's about having a skill set mixed with the emotional leadership side, and then the just go out and do it, show everyone how you do it, and at the same time keeping guys accountable, bouncing things off Simon and the rest of the coaching staff, hearing sides from the players and what they're thinking and where their understanding may or may not be on certain topics or plays and possessions. So sometimes it comes together and pays off in certain areas of the game, and sometimes we don't make it look very pretty, but either way we do get to learn and mould and build something pretty beautiful out of it. And it's something that I think we've done a great job so far and hopefully we can keep building on.
So Simon, who's been the sort of standout player over the past few rounds?
I think it's fair to say we've had standout players in each game, and everybody's kind of had a chance to shine, but I think the player that's probably come from under the radar a little bit and has been a bit of a talking point has been John Robertson. I think in this league, to be competitive, you need to have that dynamic point guard, and John, for us, was that guy. And I think over the first month and a bit of the season, he's really announced to the league that he's right up there amongst the elite of the point guards in the NBL.
Just watching him play, he just seems like a very dynamic player. Obviously, he's setting everything up, and you can't leave him alone because he'll take those threes. So I think the crowd loves him. Every time he sings a three, everyone erupts. So it's awesome to watch at ground level.
He's the most selfless individual with the highest skill set I've seen in a long time. We actually have the headbutting contest with John nearly every single day about being more aggressive, taking more shots, calling his number more often. If I was that good a shooter and I could knock it down at the third best clip in the world, I'm taking more than his 10 shots a game. I'm probably going to take 45 shots. So, look, John's an absolute upstanding man. He's a great guy off the court. He's just the kind of guy that you want around the club, and hopefully, if you're watching this, John, stay around for a few more years. That'd be really good. I think we all want him here. But look, he's just such a great guy to have on your team and someone I want to play with for a very long time.
What about some off-court stuff? What's been the highlight off the court so far?
I'm not sure.
Apart from how well you're treated at
yeah,
South East Melbourne, of course.
I don't know if it's a highlight or a low light, but Dane is someone that he kind of falls on the fence sometimes. I mean, one of his highlights was he got his first dunking game. I feel like it was the springy floorboards that we had, also, he had his first autograph, which wasn't a mistake, which is normally the case. They normally ask if it's Mitch or if it's Kyle, and he goes, no, it's Dane. And they said, oh, you'll do. He actually did brag about that to a lot of guys on the team for quite some time. Dane is one of those guys off the court that he brings such a energy and presence. No matter what it is, it could be training, it could be in the gym. A key part of what our culture really is off the court. I mean, Simon, you've probably got a few stories up your sleeve maybe of old Pup.
Yeah, well, anytime you get a bloke who's the reigning defensive player of the year in his own mind, you got to try and snap him up, right? Look, he's certainly an effervescent personality, and when you're trying to put teams together, I think you've got to try and find different personality types that you think will mesh. He's certainly, from an off the court standpoint, what I really admire when I go to the clinics and I see him working with the kids. He's just smiles, high fives. He loves being that king of the kids. When I see him at those clinics, that's where I get a bit of a smile and say, yeah, he gets it. He gets what we're doing.
We all know Goat is very enjoyable beer, and to help celebrate that, we've highlighted a Goat very enjoyable play of the season so far. So Mitch, why don't you talk us through this one?
Yeah, I bust out of a rebound with blistering pace. They take a swipe at it, put it behind my back. Very simple play. And then take another little spin move when they take another swipe at it. I don't know why they're reaching, because we are teaching. Threw it up, big fella caught it. I did think he was going to just tip it in. I think we were all very surprised that he did finish it off with a nice little dunk. So that's our Goat, very simple, enjoyable play.
Very simple, enjoyable play. And that's a wrap for our first ever episode of Goat at the Brewery. I'd like to really thank the guys for sparing some time to come along and help us. And of course, Darcy Vesio is going to be alongside me for every episode of the season. So please make sure you stay tuned to the SEM Phoenix channels for all of the remaining episodes.